24/7 mobile app.
Will you believe
Whether
that I got
you're a
like
student,
no ketchup on it?
coach, parent, or player, you can have the power of the NMAA right in the palm of your hand. Find scores and
If you're not gonna eat it,
schedules,
don't throw it away.
follow your favorite teams, receive special
I'll throw it. No,
offers
it's
from
down.
NMAA sponsors, get state championship information, highlights, features, and much more. Download the free NMAA 24/7 mobile app in the App Store for iOS and Google Play for Android.
What are they zooming in on? How long are baseball games?
Maybe a couple hours.
Why did I sign up for this?
Is that good or bad?
Nah,
Got
it's
something
good.
else to do?
Nope.
No?
I'm just chilling.
Okay. Happening, brother. Your information, sir.
Yep, it's a baseball game, not a basketball game. Welcome to the 2023 Baseball State Championships.
What's up? Just thinking. I need a.
Sorry, I didn't mean to be late. You can tell me off.
Okay. You can come up here, coach. I'll just kind of get to the side here. We seem way more situated than we were for that Del Norte game. Oh, this is miles ahead for sure. This is prime. And we got a floor master here, Lamson. All right. That's me. That's me. That's me. I'm the floor master.
See, I'm the master of the floor.
How do you zoom in?
There's a rocker.
There's
On
a
the side, right side.
So like where you would put your hand in it, there's like a little strap, right? Like kind of where you put your hand up, and right in there, there's like a finger.
Okay.
If you can't find it,
All right, as we
Can't
get
find it,
started
raise your
here,
hand,
I'm
I'll
going to
come
ask
over.
all the coaches, bring me your lineups ASAP.
see, it's funny because I haven't heard like I've never been here before like national anthem. Bring your lineups. Are we good on these?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got some
So silly.
terminology. Bonus baby. This player received a large signing bonus. Oh, we don't gotta worry about that. I was like, oh, let's see what we got here. So there's some interesting things on here that
I feel like I should have made some graphics for this.
okay, let me think about this. Okay, so I'll just open and just kind of give a general. Yeah. After that, can I throw it to you for? Should we go grad stuff first or teaching stuff first? It's up to you.
Baseball.
Heat on, Joaquin. Well, the head coach is
Well,
Furby,
A little bit.
Mike Furby.
Like what?
Were
Hey,
you
you go
able
to
to grab
baseball
anything?
So you know how, like, the
to
basics of playing
Demi, and you
baseball,
just-
right?
Yeah. Okay. So how about if I toss it to you, Devin,
I want to
first,
play softball, of course.
and then
Yeah, I forgot you played softball.
grants,
I'm very
Toss it to
forgetful.
you,
It seems.
Playing it next year.
and then we're gonna start this right before the game
you're gonna be the
starts,
best
so
player,
there'll be a whole lot.
obviously.
But I was just thinking generally we could talk about we'll kind of stick with grants and talk about
See, my job seemed hard
somewhat young.
until we got to this point.
This is kind of a building. I mean, you can say whatever you want. I'll say something
What are they
general
doing?
like grants narrowly
Just
missed
messing
a
around.
chance to play in the semifinals last year. This is being kind
dying every time she had to be close. I was like dying. It was like the song was my face is disgusting. It was like, yeah. I shaved this morning and it's already, It was clean shaved. My face was smooth.
I don't even miss that one.
Don't talk about that. I've gotten better at shaving. Can you believe we're streaming right now? And this is what's happening.
Should we go talk to the streaming? Have their fun.
It's funnier. It's way funnier like this.
Bodie's 0 for 2 with a strikeout.
You have dirt on your
Perfect.
thing.
It's just dirt.
Yeah, I'm screaming me OCD. Or my cleanness is being clean OCD.
I just want it to be clean. Just a little bit of dirt. I should have worn actual pants. Not black pants.
You're on my pants.
Wow. Love it. It's very fancy.
Good old days. Sitting in the office. Nothing ever changes. Days change. Everything else is
You said Sammy in that thing you wrote?
I heard this like
Basically the same thing.
Yeah, when I was in
I heard you killed it. We were gonna have Condon with us.
No, I asked this with Connor. I said I'm recording them with glasses.
Seeing is awesome. I mean, unless you don't want to wear them. Then I can just like do this the whole time. See? So much prettier.
I can't see.
Looking this way, it's not as bright. Looking that way.
Plus, like you said, we didn't even get one fourth runner-up. We weren't even good for fourth runner-up.
It's okay, let's still go down. Catch your bottom, dollar. Annie is a weird play, musical.
My mom used to always make fun. My mom makes fun of me now.
See the ground?
Why?
You know how my hair is like red now?
See it there.
Instead of pink. My hair is curly. So she'll sing the song will come out.
You don't look that much like Annie. Entirely different face.
If I had the freckles, then that would be a whole different story.
I could play Geometry Dash. Yeah, I could. I really don't need it that screen. I'll be doing the actual things. That's basically nothing, and I already feel weakly. It wasn't that bad. You can hear us. It's terrifying.
Oh my god.
It's scary, isn't it?
Yeah. Can't say nothing bad. I'm joking.
Okay, so this is the pre-game talk. We're talking about the game before the game. Pre-game talk. Genius. Isn't it? Just it's the coolest thing ever.
Coolest thing ever.
Oh, you know. Obviously.
Yeah.
Wow. This is weird.
Why
Anyways, we're live on.
Okay.
It's okay. I'm just embarrassing you on the school YouTube channel.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yep.
Say something. Say something to the universe.
Say something to the universe?
Yeah.
No.
Why not? It's interested. It needs to know what's happened.
I hate you. that's all I gotta say is I hate you.
What? That's mean. Okay, fine. I'll turn it off. Just kidding.
Oh my god.
It's more fun on.
Oh my god. My hair's gonna kill me.
Oh wait, I can turn it off there.
Noise. Yeah, you could hear everything. Do 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 do. Let me know when we're ready. We're ready? Are you sure? Testy, testy, 1, 2, 3. All right, I think it appears we are live here from Grants Stadium in a windy Grants, New Mexico. Here today to present first round 4A state baseball between the number 1 Grants Pirates and the number 16 Deming Wildcats. This broadcast being brought to you by Angry Jack Productions, and it is a largely student-run media organization within Grants High School. We have a couple of adults running the board today as far as announcers go, but everything else today, student-run, student-produced. So we congratulate them and glad they're here with us today. Also with me here today, Coach Landon Chavez, who is the, now I think we can say it, longtime boys basketball coach at Grants, and he's going to help me out with color today. Coach, thank you for being with me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Such an exciting time of year, right? You get into the state playoffs, and this is the time everyone wants to be here and support your home team and just do everything you've worked for all season long.
No question. And just a little more than a week ago, the stands here were full to a level that people hadn't seen before. There's a lot of excitement around this Grants baseball team. But first, let's look at Deming. They had to drive 200 miles to get here. And what do you know about this team coming in as a 16 seed, Coach?
You know, overall, Deming comes in with a 10-16 overall record. They finished 7-2 in district, which is extremely up top for them.
Right.
I know that they played a lot of difficult 5A schools, so their strength of schedule was super tough coming into district, and I think that helped them be prepared late in the season. They had a couple huge wins. They beat Los Alamos 7-4 early, and that was a big win for them, as well as Santa Teresa. They ended up winning their district, and they beat them 7-6 right at the end. So they come in with a huge amount of confidence coming into this game. They know kind of what they have, nothing to lose as a 16 seed. You come in, you just want to throw your best pitcher, give everything you got, and hopefully you can come out on top. I mean, Cinderella story. Everyone loves a good Cinderella story.
No question about that. And you brought up their district record. They actually won 7 of their last 9, and they started the year, 0-6, I think. So they really put it together at the right time. They are led by Coach Fernando Olguin Jr., and they've got some nice players today. On the mound for them today is going to be Caleb Mendoza, who actually happens to be their best home run hitter and stolen base leader, so we'll keep an eye on him as the broadcast goes through. Meanwhile, Coach, this Grants team, talk about ending the year on a run. These guys have won 12 straight, and what have they been doing just to get that streak and keep it alive? What's been so special about these guys here down the stretch?
You know, Coach Furby, he really preaches that he allows his players to be themselves, right? And being a basketball coach as well, I know what it's like to let kids have their swagger and come out and do their thing, and he doesn't try and mess up that too much. He allows them to be themselves, but they just come with a winning attitude. Every game they show up, and obviously they have a 10-1 record here at home, so they love playing here at the Port, being able to play in front of their home fans. So they're excited about this opportunity, but they got to understand that it's a long process. You can't overlook teams. Just a 1 by your name and a 16 by Deming's name doesn't mean anything. It all comes down to one. This is a best-of-3 series, but I've been impressed with them all season long, and I think they're ready for this moment. And either way, it's going to be exciting. We love to see them flourish and these kids mature and grow up, and I think they've been pretty successful so far, but job's not finished. I think that's kind of the motto coming into this game.
Absolutely. And considering you mentioned this is a fairly young team, they're going to start a sophomore today. Nico Young's the kid, and to be honest with you, I hadn't caught wind of him until about mid-season. Happened to catch him here at home against St. Pius. What do you remember about that game and what Nico was able to do for the team that day, which ended up being a Pirate win?
Well, overall, Nico Young's been pretty spectacular. He's 5-0 in district, so he's come on late this season, but I think no one had really heard of him before, and I think that threw coaches for a loop because everyone knows everyone in district. They've seen him all year long. But he was able to come in with poise, calm, cool, and collective against St. Pius, such a powerhouse. And he ended up getting the win that night. So I think tonight they're going to ride him as a young sophomore, have the faith that they've had all year long, and just continue doing what they're doing. It's going to be exciting.
Very good. We're about to get started here with the aforementioned Nico Young on the mound. His battery mate today, Andres Lopez, is number 15. And we'll reintroduce you to everyone once they come up for bat. First base, that is, sorry. It's going to be Gabriel Marquez, G-Money, G-Bills. He's got it a couple of different names. Looks like at third base, and sorry about that. Shortstop, Isaiah Manzanares, the junior. Dominic Gonzalez is at third base for the Pirates today. Bodie Malonis, a guy that Coach Chavez is very familiar with in center field. Steve Esteban Barella at second base. Cameron McDougal will be in right field, and Jesse Nieto in left field. Coach, I had heard coming in that Jesse had a bulky wrist or something. It seems like they got that solved.
They did, and he's going to give it a go today. I mean, they always have players on deck ready to go just in case it flares up or anything happens unforeseen. But ultimately, I mean, he's a senior. I'm super proud of the way he's been able to persevere, and he came out this year for the first year, and it's pretty impressive to be able to come onto a team of such magnitude and be able to make an impact.
Right out the gate. Yeah, that's definitely something for him to be proud of, and he's here in a high leverage game, and so it's a good thing to see.
Absolutely.
One more time, good evening, and welcome to the 2023.
All right, we're about getting ready for action here.
Class 4A State Baseball Championships. Today's matchup feature the visiting Deming Wildcats against your Grants Pirates.
Richard Jones, if you can hear him in the background, is our announcer today. First time this year. And then, okay, up to bat first here is going to be Caleb Mendoza. He's the pitcher, pulling double duty today, and a lefty. So we'll see what happens here. Nico Young likes to pump those fastballs, and according to some of the players for Grants, they felt like pumping fastballs today might be the way to go for these eager Deming hitters.
And you know they want to get out early and get on base and get things going early on. I know that Grants St. Pius game, there was 5 runs every inning on each side, so you know they want a quick start here. They don't want to start off with no runs in the first inning.
It'd be great to get off to a start, especially after driving 200 miles and showing up at Grant Stadium.
You know the nerves are at an all-time high right now. All these players are first taste of state playoffs this year.
Oh my goodness, right.
You can only imagine what they're feeling right now. But that's an exciting thing as a player and as a coach.
No question. So as we finish hearing from our home announcer here, we'll get the action going here pretty soon. And we're about to launch it here. And we're going through the Pirate starters now. And again, we'll introduce you to everyone as they come up to bat today.
Give it up for Noah Lundstrom, Chris Chambers, Seth Villasana, Tristan Fernandez. How about it for DJ Chavez and Nick Bustos. And now for your starters. Number 15, and it's his birthday. How about it for Andres Lopez?
All right. Home crowd getting fired up. It's about as packed as the most recent game here. Actually, Coach, the tent started going up pretty early this morning. We had to get our own tent set up early.
Yeah, I mean, it's an exciting time. It's not often the Grants is a #1 seed in any sport, so
that's true.
We're all pretty thrilled to be here.
Talk about that, because through history, I can't, and you may know better than I do, but we've never been a #1 seed as far as I know.
No, of course not. And I think last year was our first taste of success we've really had as a baseball program. I know we made it to the final 8 teams, and we got a taste of that. And I think these young guys really kind of found a way to get their way back this year and leave no doubts on being the #1 seed. So it's pretty exciting time. I think they know they have a big task ahead of them today. They can't overlook these Deming Wildcats, and they're ready to move on, but it all starts tonight.
And they most definitely earned that 1 seed. If you look at their schedule, they beat pretty much every team they needed to beat, with a couple of exceptions. And right now, we're going to listen to the Pledge of Allegiance national anthem. All right, a great rendition there. And it reminds me, seeing the American flag, it's a bit of a stiff wind west to east today, which means if any of these guys can get the ball in the air, who knows what could happen.
The coaching staff for the Grants Pirates. Assistant coach Herman Young, Cody McDougal, Joaquin Heron, Eric Galindo,
and Caleb Mendoza ready to go. Pitcher's been up there taking cuts. He's ready to get going.
He's a lefty coming up, so it'll be interesting to see early on.
All right, and here we go. It's time for baseball here. First pitch from Nico Young. Coming in, swinging strike. Caleb Mendoza with the big cut. And Nico off to a good start here. Second pitch comes in. Ooh, took a little off there. Got him swinging again.
Nice 0-2 count. Now he can kind of play with them a little and throw something outside of the zone.
Oh, nice, boy. What a way to start. Nico comes out, a little bit of fire, a little bit of movement, and takes care of Caleb Mendoza in 3 straight balls. Now we're going to see Vincent Chavez, shortstop for the team, wearing number 34. And here comes the delivery. That one's going to be low, so we'll go ball 1. To Chavez, one of the few seniors on this Deming team. That one, just looking, and it's a strike. So it's 1-1 now. And that one's going to be driven to center field. It's going to get down. Malonis on the chase, McDougal on the chase, and boy,
looks like
Chavez stretching for 3, and he's going to get it. He's going to get it easily.
Such a good hit into the gap. Center fielder, not necessarily out of position. It's just a good hit, well placed.
It sure was. No, you're right. Bodie was where he needed to be for a right-handed hitter. But an excellent hit there for Chavez. So Deming saw Mendoza go down first, but now they're in business, no question, with Daniel Mosier coming up.
And he's one of their big hitters as well, so got to be careful on this at bat.
Yeah. Big kid here, second baseman. Freshman, this is going to drop into center field, and Deming on the board just like that.
And you said Daniel Mosier was up to bat. He has 23 RBIs on the season. This will be number 24 for him. That leads their team, so really good at bringing runners in when they're in scoring position.
Batting next, number 14, Andy Ramirez.
Here comes Andy Ramirez, the designated hitter, batting cleanup. Ramirez, a junior for these Wildcats. Some high heat from Young. He got him to bite, and now the chase is on. It's going to probably drop there.
Andy Ramirez, he's batting .321 on the season, and he's also one of their junior pitchers as well, so they have a lot of confidence in him.
Good-looking kid, standing tall there in the box. 1-0 your lead. We don't have a scoreboard to show you on the broadcast, but it's an early 1-0 lead for Deming. Nico, off speed, he offered, and that's a strike. Good pitch by Nico Young, who's also trying to keep Chavez on first. Pardon me, Mosier. This one straight back to out of play.
That was a high fastball too, and you could tell that these hitters are trying to get on everything early. Down 0-2 in the count, still swinging.
That's confidence. If you're a coach calling that from the dugout, you feel pretty good about that. About something good happening. Here we go. 0-2, 1 out. Deming leading 1-0. Mosier short lead. He offered at the off speed there, and it's going to be fielded by Manzanares, who took his hat off to see that one. So it's 2 outs.
It almost seemed like that was a check swing there. He wasn't really too sure if he should go all the way through, and just got a little piece of it.
Here comes another left-handed hitter. This is Jose Duran. He's the third baseman for the Wildcats. Young looked pretty good outside for ball 1. Duran, a sophomore for these Wildcats. Here comes a delivery. This one gets over to the Grants dugout. It will be a foul ball.
Up to bat right now for the Wildcats, Jose Duran.
1-1 count, and boy, if Nico can get out of this, he's got to feel pretty good about it after allowing just that one run.
You never want to give up runs, but in the same sense, you also got to realize what's at stake here. You have a heavy-hitting team. You got to have that confidence in your team.
And Grants can score some runs too, so that may not be a problem in the long run anyway. Right now, Nico in control, 1-2 against Duran.
He really hasn't got down in the count against any batters thus far.
They're swinging at not everything, but they're as we keep saying, they're in there to hit. That one's going to be outside. Delivery, off speed, straight to Cam McDougal, who makes the catch.
He'll retire the side.
So after allowing a run to Vinny Chavez off the Daniel Mosier RBI, after the triple, Nico Young and the Pirates shut the rest of it down, and they trail 1-0 going into the bottom of the first.
It'll be interesting to see Caleb Mendoza up on the mound and how a left-handed pitcher, will throw off right-handed hitters. So I don't know that they've seen a lot of left-handed pitchers this season, but it'll be a good test early on.
The one I remember is the one, and I wish I knew his name, going back to the St. Pius game. They brought in a reliever late, and if I recall, we had some success against him, but this is a whole different situation here.
But if you're Deming, you're pleased, right? You're happy to come in. You're on the road. You're a 16 seed against a 1. You come in, you get a run early. You get a couple hits. You swing at the ball. So I think they're a little excited. Jitters might be out. And you're hoping to get out of this inning without too much damage. But
Right.
Grants has other plans.
Grants is so good. Well, they have two things that I think play to their offense, and that is their players. A lot of them are fairly short. I mean, let's just call it what it is, and therefore the strike zones have been tough for pitchers.
It is.
And these guys are just good. They're disciplined hitters. I mean, you think about the best major league teams, and they're able to lay off strikes balls and bad pitches. These Pirates seem to be able to do the same thing, but they can score a bunch of runs in a hurry themselves.
When you talk about our lack of size, right? You're reluctant in the sport of baseball that it doesn't matter how tall you are, how much you weigh. If you can hit the ball and you can play, then not much else matters.
That is true.
Being a basketball coach, on the other hand, I mean, size would be nice, but we have these same players out on the basketball court, so sometimes that's unfortunate. But
But they're athletes, and that's just what they're good at doing.
absolutely.
So we're going to get a look at Andres Lopez for the first time today, the senior. It is his birthday today, as Mr. Jones is telling us here.
Fireball is his walk-up song. He must be a big Pitbull guy.
Oh, yeah. And here comes the first delivery from Mendoza. A little high. 0-1. Mendoza not wasting time. High again. I'm hearing someone refer to Andres by his other nickname, Ralphie. And it's because of his resemblance as a youth to the kid from Christmas Story, who was named Ralphie.
And he's loved that nickname. He's stuck with it, and he's said that was one of his best memories, actually.
That's right. So 3-0 already on Andres. And again, these Pirates have made a living off of just being patient. I can't imagine what it'd be like to have to be patient. You know what I mean? It's
Absolutely.
How do you lay off those pitches when they just look so sweet at the time?
When the catcher just went to talk to Mendoza and kind of settle them in a little, let them know, make sure they're on the same page, and figure out a plan to get out.
Comes the pitch. That's a strike. Lopez looked at a strike.
And it's often that coaches will have their players on a 3-0 count, watch just in case. Take an easy walk.
That's where that's going to go as the ball. And Ralphie looked like he was going for 2, but he didn't. The ball kind of skipped out of Brian Garcia's glove.
And you can see the aggressive nature early, right? He's looking to see if he could turn 2 and get to second right off the first bat.
And now taking the plate, number 24.
Here comes Isaiah Manzanares, who between last year and this, and actually through last year into this year, has been one of those guys, right, on this team that it's getting some attention, that all of a sudden you're hearing, people say about his opportunities at the next level. This is definitely a kid that has been on a lot of people's radar.
He's a great pitcher as well as a great shortstop and second baseman, so he's pretty tough.
1-0 to Manzanares. High for ball 2.
It's a good eye from Isaiah. I mean, they've seen a lot of balls thus far and staying patient.
And by my calculation, 1 strike out of 7 pitches from Mendoza. See if he can find his rhythm here. Now he's got to deal with Lopez on first. That one's a little outside or high. Now another 3-0 count. And Mr. Manzanares has been known to put one over the fence a time or two. Let's see if he finds one that he likes. Oop, inside, and it's a walk. So, Mendoza having a little trouble, and here comes Coach to kind of talk to him a bit.
And that pitch was real close inside. It almost hit him. He had to jump out of the way, but
I was just going to ask if you saw him actually getting hit.
it was close.
Not really sure what you could say to Mendoza here. He was the first batter, as you said, and he struck out swinging, and now he's got 2 on, no outs, and Dominic Gonzalez coming up to the bat, and this could be a pivotal moment. It's early, but this could be a pivotal moment for this game.
And confidence is everything, right? You look at a junior pitcher coming in as a 16 seed, facing a powerhouse in Grant, and he kind of wants to settle in, but Dominic Gonzalez has been one of the most consistent hitters all season long and can take you a yard at any moment in time, so you got to be real careful on this at bat.
And here comes the first pitch from Mendoza. Took a little off in there, but a ball. Mendoza looking at Lopez. They're holding him on now. And that's a strike to Gonzalez.
You can't fault him for looking on that one. I mean, he's thrown a lot of balls thus far.
Here it comes. Gonzalez standing tall in there. Ooh, fouls one off. Big cut for him. Gonzalez, the starting, one of your starters this year. Heck of an athlete. Basketball player. Great baseball player.
Absolutely.
Love to see it happening.
Good kid, too, all around.
Isn't he? Also one of my star media students, so let's add that in there. Kid does everything. Oh, this one ripped down the line. It's fair. We're going to get one run. We're going to get 2 runs here. I'm going to call it early. Dominic Gonzalez with a stand-up double. And the Pirates, with a swing of the bat, lead to 2-1 here.
And for him, that's just second nature to him. He's used to doing this, and he's done it all year long, so he says, that's what I do. He's excited. I'm sure Grant's is excited to get that 2-1 lead on the board.
At the plate, number 8, how about it for Gabriel Marquez?
And here comes Gabriel Marquez, who also has a big bat, has had a big bat for these Pirates.
Senior first baseman.
That one's high. No out still. 1-0 here already to Marquez, and the Pirates lead 2-1. So this is shaping up to be exactly what Grants would want to do, no question. Oh, they'd go ahead and try to get Gonzalez, and he gets in there. Something we haven't mentioned is this brand new field that the Pirates got to play on. It's perfect timing, right? To get the new field, and here we are, first round state, hosting.
Beautiful turf field. But of course, the mound is still dirt. I think that was a big emphasis that they wanted to put, that they didn't want turf so that pitchers weren't slipping up top of the mound.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Here comes a pitch from Mendoza that's going to be high and outside.
Man, you look at a lot of these pitches have been high, and you talk about that. Gabriel's a little bigger in stature, and he's a little bit taller, but a lot of the pitches have been high early on.
That's a strike. Down at the knees, but a strike nonetheless. And a 2-1 count here on Marquez. I want to welcome folks in Deming. If you're watching, we shared our, well, thought better of it, and a ball against Marcus. We shared our link with some of the fans here, Deming fans. Hope you guys found it, and we're glad to have you. Shout out to Grants Pirates fans that couldn't make it. Glad to have you around. Here comes the next pitch from Mendoza. That one's out, and Gabriel Marquez gets an out, or a walk. What am I saying here? But here's what I can definitely say: every Pirate has reached base thus far.
And now taking the plate for your Grants Pirates.
And now here comes Bodie Malonis.
How about it for Bodie?
What can you tell us about this kid? Just such a special talent and kid overall.
Oh man, this kid, he started for me as a freshman in basketball and took a lot of heat for it, but I mean, he's come to prove that he's a stud in every sport he plays.
Look at this. Lifted to left field. And it's going to be caught there by the left fielder, Paul Bourget.
You got to love the aggressive nature, though, right?
Of course. Well, leading 2-1, 2 on. I love it. So Bodie Malonis flies out. Now we get to Steve Barella. Esteban properly, but they get to call him Steve. Second baseman.
Freshman as well.
Freshman as well. Just so much young talent on this team. Mendoza with the pitch, high and outside. So Mendoza already at 20 pitches in the first inning. And it seems like the Pirates want to extend that for sure. They might be saving their best ERA guy. Mosier is their top ERA guy. They might be saving him for tomorrow.
When you look at this, it's so interesting in the first round, best out of 3, right? So once you get into the next round, anything can happen. You throw your best guy every night, and now you kind of got to strategize and say, okay, I need 2 out of 3. I don't just need 1. So you got to be strategic in that sense.
You're right, because and you know, it's kind of why I like the format of this, because you kind of have to prove you made a season out of it, right? Because you got to get through 3 games, maybe. Comes the pitch, and that's a strike to Barella.
And these guys see doubleheaders throughout the season, so they know what it's like to play back-to-back games, even on the same day. So they're used to pitching different players and seeing who can bring what on what night.
1-2 to Barella. Here comes Mendoza with the delivery. He walks off.
You know Deming would love nothing other than to get a double play here in this situation.
And that's going to be a strike to Barella, called. And so Barella called out on strikes. And that's a good thing for Deming. But one less chance for Grants to bring in more runs. But here comes sophomore Nico Young.
He's been a heavy hitter all year. Even when he's not in the starting lineup, he DHs as a designated hitter. So he's one of the heavy batters in this lineup.
Oh, and there goes Gonzalez. Actually, both runners going. Throw too late.
And honestly, it looked like Gonzalez got a great jump. Marquez at first base to second. They might have had a better shot going for that one, but I understand the strategy as why you'd want to get the guy out at third first.
I love the aggressiveness, and that's another thing that isn't so much of a change, but maybe we see more of it from, say, Coach Furby than a Saraceno. Not that every coach gambles, but I feel like Furby likes to gamble and knows when to gamble.
Absolutely.
Pitch outside. And Young in good shape here, 3-0. If he walks, Deming's going to see Cameron McDougall, the right fielder. But they got to get through Nico Young first. So do you swing here or let him throw one?
I think coach is calling for letting him watch this one. And it's a strike.
3-1 to Nico Young. And that's going to be a walk there. So Nico Young gets base. Bases loaded for Cameron McDougall, who, 8 batter, but he's brought the wood here this year too. And in fact, he's got an older brother, a senior brother named Caleb, who's also on the team.
And a lot of pressure early on. You have a 2-1 lead. You're in the first inning. It's your second state playoff that he's experienced, but first as a starter. So, nerves are high, but all you want to do is get your bat on the ball and hope for the best, right?
I have to feel, too, that when you look out and see 3 red jerseys on the bases, you maybe relax a little bit. Enough to stay focused. Here comes a pitch from Mendoza. It's going to be low. And Mendoza already at 29 pitches this inning.
And he doesn't want to get in trouble in this at-bat because if he gets down in the ball count, he's going to have to walk someone home. So you never want to see that.
Right down the middle, Cam does not offer.
You know that as a hitter, you're going to get something in the strike zone because he does not want to walk you here. So got to be aggressive.
Look at this. Oh, and he'll go unassisted to the third baseman there. But the Pirates get a couple runs off Mendoza, who had to throw, actually, 31 pitches in that inning to get through the lineup. And I think we're, just seeing traffic on the bases has got to be a victory for you, even though you only got 2 runs out of it.
Absolutely. I mean, anytime you can get through almost your entire lineup and in the first inning, you count it as a win. And you got the lead going into the second inning. You trust your pitcher and move on to the next inning.
We're going to see Garcia, Almanza, Jared Almanza, and Paul Bourget coming up for Deming in order. Just as a reminder, last inning, Nico Young struck out Caleb Mendoza to start with. Vinny Chavez hit a triple and then was brought in by Mosier, and then Ramirez and Duran flew out in succession, and that ended the inning. A reminder that you're watching this broadcast brought to you by Angry Jack Productions, a student-run broadcasting organization at Grants High School. My name is Ron Gonzalez. I'm joined by Coach Landon Chavez on this broadcast. Thanks for having us. And it's just so much fun to get out here and do this. It reminds me of my days at UNM when the baseball team would have a 3-game home series, and we'd get out of the office at noon on Friday to go watch baseball. It was a tough life, Coach.
Oh man, that's awesome. I think back to this year for the state playoffs in the basketball season, and I took off the whole week and went and watched every game at the pit from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. and gotta love it. High school kids showing up, giving everything they got.
All right, so here we go. Number 5, Brian Garcia. He's the catcher. Nico with a fireball down the middle for a strike. Garcia, Jr. for Deming. Takes a swing at that. Oh, went foul. Nieto gave it chase in left field, but now he thinks maybe I should shade this way a little bit. 0-2, Garcia. And that's going to be a ball. Two and one now. Pardon me, 2-2 now to Garcia. You mentioned Nico actually has been in good lineups or good pitch counts all day, and it continues here. Nice pitch, but outside. So now we got a full count.
You get 3 straight balls, you question yourself for a second. You say, okay, got to get back to what I've been doing this whole time with a full count.
Look at that. Wow. What a pitch from Young. I mean,
Up next for the Wildcats, Jared Almanza.
Gotta love the confidence, right?
right. Just to say, I'm going to throw some cheese up there and see what you can do with it. So that's 2 strikeouts now for Nico. Coming up now, number 3, Jared Almanza, the first baseman, takes a cut at the first pitch.
Well, and it's all strategic, right? You look at a pitcher, he throws fastball, wants to hit him with an off speed because he thinks he's getting a fastball, and it's all just playing the field in that sense.
Yes. I actually love being near the Grants bench to hear Furby and the crew calling pitches, and it's just, they do a good job of mixing it up. Of course, it helps when you can throw a ball like that one we just saw a minute ago.
Absolutely.
For strikes. Look at that. Same pitch that took Garcia down, I think. That one fooling Almanza as well. 2-2 now. See if Nico can finish him off here. Oh.
Caught him looking.
Almanza said, what the heck did I just see? Or he was saying something to the ref. I don't know which one, but either way, he got to hit the dugout. Now it's Paul, I'm going to say Bourget, Coach, in left field, number 1.
Sounds good to me.
He's a junior. strike from Nico. Ahead early. Another one, that one he gets a piece of. It's going to go over the Grants dugout into, hopefully not somebody's car. But Nico up quickly here, 0-2. Let's see if he can strike out the side. Bourget set. Ball. Nico with the wind up here. Took a little off, and it's going to go right. Out of play. Nobody hurt. It's good. And we'll do it again. Ooh. That one didn't bite like Nico wanted to, and so Bourget is going to...
Up next for the Wildcats.
You know that can't feel good. You take a shot to the back with a wild pitch and take your base, but sometimes you got to pay the price.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and while it's not exactly chilly out here, still getting that in the thin of your back is can't feel good. Now we're going to see the right fielder, Jaden Carvajal. First time up today, high, strike, ball one. Almanza taking a little lead at first base. And it looks like a ball to Carvajal.
And you got the start of the lineup coming up next with Mendoza. You can't help but think with 2 outs and 1 on, he would love to see Carvajal get on base here.
Three 3-0. There goes a low strike, but a strike nonetheless. 3-1 now.
You could tell the coach told him you were not swinging no matter how perfect this pitch is because he didn't even attempt to look at it.
The bat stayed on the shoulder, if you will. And that one, too, is going to be high. So, 2 straight allowed by Nico Young, 1 on the hit by pitch, and the base on balls.
Caleb Mendoza.
You can't help but think all you got to do for Mendoza here, you got 2 on, 2 out. You look at just getting your bat on the ball, right? You want to get something in the gap, bring in that run, tie the game. And that's what he does.
2, and that's good. And the side is taken care of as Manzanares whips it over to Marquez for out number 3. And a little posturing on that end.
Yeah, Gabriel Marquez and Isaiah Manzanares, they have their arms crossed. They're excited, right?
A little fired up.
You could see it.
So, Deming goes down after striking out 2. Nico Young allows a couple base runners, but in 1 pitch is able to erase. And the Pirates continue to lead 2-1. Going to the bottom of the second.
A little adversity for the young sophomore and Nico Young, but handled it well, got out of the inning. That's all you can ask for as a coach.
Right, and how about a sophomore? Yeah, it's what you mentioned, just watching high school students, and I just love, one of my favorite parts is seeing them grow up, right? They're freshmen, they're sophomores, but you bring up Nico, he, like you said, faced some adversity, but figured it out. You love seeing that part of it.
Sometimes players want you to bail them out and make their life easy. And as coaches, we have to give them a little tough love sometimes and allow them to figure it out on their own. And they thank you for it later, but in the moment, they look for you for guidance and help. But sometimes you just got to let them persevere and find ways to face adversity and continue to flourish.
So first up, we're going to see Jesse Nieto here, who has become a bit of the, I don't want to say the team spokesman, but they, our students have been covering this team all year long, and anytime we bring up the notion of an interview with the player, they kind of all offer him up. So, I don't know. Does he have the gift of gab? Maybe that's what it is. He's an excitable kid, though, that's for sure.
He is. He's such a positive influence, and love to have the kid around. I'm glad that he was able to play this year and be a major contributor to this team.
How about it for number 25, Jesse Nieto?
We got Bad Boys in the background. He's ready to go.
Jesse Nitro is what I like to call him. Anyway, there's the pitch from Mendoza, strike.
You actually coached JJ in basketball last year, so
I did.
you know him all too well.
He's got, as we see a ball high, he's got that spark in him that you don't get with every kid. It's just built into this kid. Here comes Mendoza, set, pitch, high.
And being from such a small town, we have multi-sport athletes because we need them, right? We need them to play every sport. And
Right.
you love to see them have the same attitude in every sport.
There's a little knock to the third baseman, and Jesse tried to leg it out but didn't quite get there as Garcia takes care of Jesse Nieto.
You love to see the effort on his approach to first. He goes all out in everything he does, and that's one thing you can't teach, effort.
Absolutely.
Up to bat, number 15,
Here comes Andres Lopez for the second time.
Lopez.
And he looks at a strike. Caleb Mendoza looks a little more committed to just getting it in the strike zone this time around. Curved one in, nice.
Well, you know now he's had time to settle in, and he's kind of finding his own now and getting back to what he's used to.
Delivery's high. And it'll be a 1-2 count on Lopez. Ralphie. This one down right field, and he just kept curving foul.
We had Jesse Nieto start off the inning. He's one of the seniors, and we look at 5 seniors with this Grands team, Ralphie being another one as well. They love that they're young, but they have these 5 seniors that they want to send off well, right?
Right. And it would be a, no matter how far they get, it'd be this is part of that send off, but this team has the potential to do much more. Comes the pitch, swung on by Lopez, and Garcia. Oh, he's safe. They called him safe, and it sure did look as though Almanza pulled his foot off the bag. He had to extra stretch to get there, and Lopez is safe.
And I was just about to praise the third baseman and say, well, he's pretty poised. He's gotten 2 straight outs, but all it takes is that little bit that the first baseman has to reach to get his foot off the bag. And
right, any kid that can reach that throw from third to first, I think you got to give him props, because that's a heck of a throw, and that one was just a little short.
absolutely.
Here comes Manzanares now for the second time. He walked first time through, and it's a big swing. I think it's going to go foul. No, it's deep, and oh my goodness, just foul.
You could tell by the look in his walk, he thought it was gone.
Yeah, he wasn't exactly running to first base, but he comes back smiling. Gets a little head slap from Dynamic Gonzalez, that is.
It feels good to get a hit like that early in the count.
Right? 0-1 to Manzanares. Lopez a little bit of a lead. That's going to be high and outside. So we are heading to the thick of the Grants lineup. If Isaiah can do something here. Comes the pitch. That's a ball. And he's turned this count around 2-1 now.
It's been interesting. Grants usually relies on their base runners in this situation, but he's let everyone run thus far through the first inning, so we'll see how that plays out going on forward.
That was Mendoza's 45th pitch of the game. So he got up to a good start. It seemed like he was going to limit some damage here in this inning. He got Nieto out, but now he's in a little bit of trouble. 3-1 down to Manzanares. Takes a swing at it, and it's going to be out of play.
you talk about the pitch count from Mendoza, and you can't help but think, looking at their lineup, they have 8 pitchers. So you wonder how conservative they're going to be with their pitchers, knowing that they may have to play 3 games going forward. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays going forward.
I have to imagine, too, as a 16 seed, you're going to throw everything you can to get to that next game no matter what.
Absolutely, because anything can happen.
Ooh, Manzanares touches one. It's going to go right, though, to the center fielder. Good rip, but right to Villegas. And he caught it to make the second out of the inning. And now, Dominic Gonzalez coming up, the sophomore. Dominic's another one of those kids. We mentioned Isaiah being one of these kids that, you know, have some attention surrounding them in their play. And he plays a lot of baseball. We know that year-round.
He does, and I wish I have him for basketball as well. And I wish he'd commit a little bit more to basketball as much as he does baseball. But you can't help but love how talented he is at the sport of baseball. And, you know, if you want to play the next level, I understand coaches that preach to be single sport athletes. Of course, we'd love him to play our sport and every sport and all these things. But you could tell he has a knack for baseball, and he's pretty good at it. 2 RBIs coming in the state game today, and only a sophomore.
Here's the pitch from Mendoza.
Such a beautiful off-speed pitch.
It was. I think Dominic probably thinks, man, I could have had something there. And he does find time for both sports, so that's a good thing. He takes a swing. That gets into the right field gap. Andres Lopez coming around. He's going to score. If they send him, certainly do. And here comes Dominic rounding second. Triple for Gonzalez and another RBI, and Andres Lopez scoring for the Pirates, and it's now 3-1. Boy, you got to feel for Mendoza. He had to feel good about that at-bat there. Then all of a sudden, the kid we're just talking about smoked one to right center and scored a run.
And he's an excellent pitcher, too. He came in to close the game against St. Pius and threw 3 blazing speed pitches past Gene Trujillo, which is one of the UNM commits and one of the best players in the state. So you love the kid's confidence, man.
Here comes Marquez. Takes a cut at the first one he sees. Out of play.
So we're looking at 3 RBIs early on, and all from Dominic Gonzalez. Let your studs be studs, right?
Of course. Marquez. If he can get just a little poke, we're going to see another run here for Grants. This one gets skied up. And, who's got it? Nobody's got it. That's a tough one out there, boy. Jaden Carbajal, the right fielder, was out there, as was Daniel Mosier, the second baseman, and maybe it got lost in the sun. I don't know, but it's another run for Grants.
You hate to see those ones, especially when we all lose it in the sun sometimes. So,
oh boy,
to miss a run on that one, it's tough.
Here comes Bodie Malonis. And let's see what he can do. He can wreak havoc on the bases if he gets on. Number 5 hitter, center fielder. Here comes the pitch. He lays off.
Looks back at the ump to make sure that was a strike that he did see.
So smart. I mean, you talked about him as your on your basketball team. That desire to get better at everything. This one bounced up the middle. He's not going to have a play. He's going to get there.
And one thing we underestimate is the speed of Bodie. I mean, he's blazing fast. I think being an former athlete myself, he's the only kid that's ever beat me in a race thus far, and I know I'm getting up there in age, but you love to see how quick that kid is.
And he loves to beat you, I know that. And I know you'd love to beat him.
We actually did a cornhole fundraiser last week, and me and him were on the same team, and I'm not as good as him, so I felt bad bringing him down. But
you were the dead weight, huh?
Yeah, for once.
Steve Umbrella, they're trying to get Bodie. Oh, okay.
And as we talk about his speed, he steals
a base just like that.
Just like that.
I actually missed the call if that was a strike or a ball. I'm not sure. And it's not up on the board yet, so here comes the next pitch to Barella. Barella takes a cut, going straight for center field, and indeed it comes down into the glove of Andrew Villegas. But the Pirates played a couple more, 4 on an RBI by Dominic Gonzalez, and also another to make the score 4-1 through 2.
Out of the official walk-in medical clinic of the NMAA. Don't forget Dion's proud sponsor of the New Mexico Athletic
All right, so
Association.
just a quick little reset here. If you're just joining us, the score is 4-1 in favor of Grants. Deming got off to a great start. Actually, they scored a run in the top of the first inning. Came back and had some base running, a couple base runners in the top of the second. But Grants has played 2 runs in each of the first 2 innings, and they hold a 4-1 lead. Meanwhile, Caleb Mendoza, the starter for Deming, thrown 55 pitches thus far. Nico Young currently at 36 pitches, so he remains somewhat fresh here going into the third.
They provide help to all New Mexicans through 988 New Mexico. Call, chat, or text 988-24/7 to help.
We thank you for joining us tonight here on this broadcast. It's a lot of fun to get out here. It's it is, as a friend of mine just reminded me, Cinco de Mayo. And so we hope you're all safely celebrating out there, whatever it is that you're doing. We're here at the baseball field, and I can't think of a better place that I'd rather be at this time. So again, hope you're out there celebrating safely. So a little tennis news as provided by our Ben Wilcox, a friend of the program. The Grants Lady Pirates tennis team took a first-round win, 5-4 over Los Alamos today in the state tournament, and they are slated to play. They played, I should say, a doubles at 4:30 and singles at 6. We'll get you an update as soon as we can, but that team has been a surprise this year and a definite welcome surprise. Here comes Vinny Chavez, who tripled his first time up. Diving stop by Gonzalez. Let's see if he can get him. And in fact, he got pulled off the plate. So great stop by Gonzalez, and his ability to get up and even have a chance at that shows his athleticism. But Marquez got pulled off the base a little bit, and Vinny Chavez reaches base again.
With a 4-1 deficit, you're looking to kind of score some runs here, even it up, and see what you can do going forward.
That's a strike to Mosier. That's a ball to him.
That one's in the dirt, and it's a great job by Andres Lopez to dig that one out and get it back in time.
There's the delivery. Right up the middle.
What a shot.
Good shot from Mosier, and now 2 on.
Miko Young was inches away from grabbing that, but just right by his glove.
That was Daniel Mosier, number 6.
And we're looking at number 14, Andy Ramirez, coming up, and he's the cleanup hitter, so you know he's confident coming on with 2 on and no outs.
He hit a big fly last time out. And he's going to be swinging. Off speed, there goes again. Nieto out there, it's going to be foul.
You know the aggressive nature coming up, though.
Big hit here to the gap in left center and all the way to the fence.
This is going to score 2.
It's going to score a couple. Oh, they're going to hold.
Great job by center fielder Bodie Malonis to get to that, and he probably saved a run there.
So Chavez will score. Mosier held up at third, and a big hit from Ramirez.
And Ramirez came in with 14 RBIs on the season. Loves to get one right here.
Anyway, we're figuring out some technical issues here. If you hear some yelling going on, we're trying to make this nice. Anyway, good hit. Let's reset here. Now we've got the lefty coming up, Jose Duran, who last time flew out to right field. Strike to him.
You know Nico Young wants to settle in here. He gave up 1 run, which not a whole lot of harm done, but
he can get out of this. And Deming really just aggressive right now, and it's working in their favor. They're going to score 2 here unless they sure do. And check that out. Duran with a 2 RBI single.
here comes Coach Furby. He's going to talk to either Nico Young or look to bring someone else.
So it's 4-4, and definitely a critical juncture here. So it's not so much, I don't think Nico's throwing anything. He's doing what Coach is telling him. It's just that Deming, with their aggressiveness, and they're just willing to put it all out there because they got nothing to lose.
Well, we see this in sports, right? We see teams go on runs, and we see players face adversity or struggle at times. And just like we talked about, sometimes you let them fight their way out of it, and sometimes you have to call timeouts and talk to them, settle them in, let them know you still have confidence in them, but just get back to what we're good at.
Mm-hmm. So his teammates shake his hand. He had a little smile on his face out there.
And as a pitcher, you know your team has your back, right? They're going to do everything they can to help get these players out, but ball's in your hand.
Now we're going to see Brian Garcia, the catcher. Good pitch right out the bat there from Nico. Ahead in the count, 0-1. That's a line shot snagged by Barella, and oh goodness.
He was in shallow second. What a great job to get to that ball.
Perfect, yes. Lanky, quick, and finally the first out. So you can breathe now a little bit if you're Nico, but Gerald Almanza struck out looking last time. And I think he struck out looking on that very pitch right there. This time got a piece of it.
See Barella with that catch in the second field. We've been playing kickball all week in PE, and he was tracking down balls and catching them, so you can't help but think that some of that practice paid off.
Specialized training. Who knew? Here we go, Nico. With the pitch, high and inside, kind of makes Almanza swing around a little bit.
He's already hit one batter today, so you can tell they're a little cautious.
Oh, there's another one. Okay. Last time it was Bourget who's coming up now. This time it was Almanza. And now 2 on. Bourget was hit by a pitch, so maybe they can turn 2 here and get out of this.
And with 2 on, 1 out, you can't help but hope that Nico Young's looking for a double play here.
So and Deming looks like they're figuring out how to lay off that breaking ball. It is confounding them. Oh, look at this. 1, 4, 3 double play. Nicely done there by the Pirates to finally end the inning. But the Wildcats score 3 to tie the score up at 4, going to the bottom of the 4th inning. So, Coach, you know, we said it from the beginning. This is not a gimme for either team, and right now it's anybody's game still.
You know, I think Grants, they knew the task coming in, but they also know how good of a team that Deming is. They were not the team they expected to see. They expected them to get a 13-14 seed, maybe play a Pewaukee or a Lovington, but knowing how their strength of schedule was this season and how they came on late, and we talked about how well they did in district, they knew that the task was going to be difficult, and we talked about it, Coach Furby and I, about how difficult the task would be, but knowing that his players all year long have kind of been preparing for this, and they're excited for this opportunity, and now we're back 0-0. So we talk about this as coaches all the time, and it's 0-0. We go out and play regardless of the score, but we look at 4-4 in the bottom of the third and see if you can get your bat behind some of these balls.
Right. And I think I want to say one of the coaches I was talking to, forget who now, said this is one of the better 16 seeds you'll ever see. And they did close the year really strongly. So they figured it out at the right time. They're on a little bit of a roll themselves. 7-2 over their last 9. It's the way they got into the tournament right there.
And as a 16 seed, you would love to win knowing you're playing the one seed, but ultimately you just want to compete. You want to show up, compete, nothing to lose, have some fun, enjoy the experience, and I think they're doing that right now.
And they are fairly young too, so you speak what you're saying is good for the youth that they'll have going into next year. It's a good little boost for their egos. Wind gusting here a little bit. Nico Young, the pitcher, coming up. Outside and high. Caleb Mendoza still firing away.
You can't help but think Nico wants to get some of those runs back right here. At least get on.
Takes a big cut at that one. 1-1 the count to Nico. Yes, he would love to get something back here. And you don't have to get it with one swing. Just get on base and let things happen. Another big cut from Young. Crowd slowly filling in the stands here. Behind us, this one's up in the air. It's going to be out of play. Unless... Oh. Whoa. Our camera took a dive over there. So what?
As long as it wasn't the cameraman.
As long as it wasn't the cameraman, yes. Yes. Safety first. Those are students running that as a matter of fact. So.
Who chose to put the students on top of the dugout?
I'll defer to some other administrative type.
Sounds good to me.
But as we readjust the right field camera here. 1-2 is the count to Nico Young.
Mendoza can be aggressive here. I know he's ahead in the count and knows he only needs one strike. He's got Nico swinging a few times, so he wants to be aggressive early on.
The catcher, Brian Garcia, went to the dugout again. He's coming back. I don't know if they're adjusting some equipment or something. But now we're back in action here. Mendoza delivering to Nico Young. Here's the pitch. Nico offers, swings, and he is down and strikes.
And it seemed high and away, and he was upset with himself after that one, but he wanted to hit that.
Now to bat for your Pirates.
Here comes Cam McDougal.
How about it for number 7, Cameron
Skywalker by Lupe Fiasco features Cameron McDougal on the walk up to the plate.
Strike. Okay, Cam looks at a strike. Yeah, these guys get creative with those walk-up songs, that's for sure. Mendoza wasting no time. At the eager Grant's hitters. Cam in a hole now, 0-2. Gets a piece of that one. And Caleb Mendoza just keeps dealing. He just definitely settled down, even though he allowed some runs in the second. Here comes the pitch. Ooh, the off-speed got him. Nice pitch from Mendoza.
Got me too.
I was going to say, you said a moment ago he could throw whatever, and that time he was thinking what you were thinking.
And now up for your Grants Pirates. Number
Here comes
25.
Jesse Nieto again.
How about it for Jesse Nieto?
Jesse Nieto, the senior who would love to end this year on a high note, just like we would love for him to. Looks at a curveball in there for a strike. Pitch up in the zone, but he took a cut at it anyway.
Mendoza has him swinging at everything this inning.
This has been his best inning, no doubt. And it's so hard. I can imagine it's so hard. You're down 0-2, and you're supposed to try to look at something. And Mendoza's trying to punch you out. That's gone.
It talks about the patience, right? You see sometimes you're down, and you got to be patient, take it one possession, one pitch at a time. And I think that's what you got to do as a batter and stay confident.
And I think that's when we see Andres Lopez top of the lineup. This one's going to get up in the air, and the wind could do something funky with it, no question, but it doesn't. Instead, another fly out to Andrew Villegas, and that will end the Pirates' inning. So they go down in order. Young, McDougal, Nieto. And we're tied 4-4, heading to the fourth.
Well, we wanted to see some good baseball today, and I think we've got our wish thus far.
Yes, we sure have. Quick reset if you're just joining us. You're watching 4A State Baseball on Angry Jack Productions. We're pleased to bring you this broadcast today with the help of a lot of student work, with a little bit of assistance from adult announcers for now. We're trying to groom some people, you know what I mean? But the score right now, just again as a reset, 4-4 is your score. Deming got on the board first with a run in the top of the first. Pirates took the lead with 2 at the bottom, in the bottom of the frame. Deming was held scoreless top of the second. Grants plated another pair. And then Deming had a big inning top of the third, and they brought the score to 4-4. Grants went down in order bottom of the third, bringing us to now top of the fourth.
And I'm interested to see how Nico Young responds here. He faced some adversity this last inning. Coach came and talked to him, gave up 3 runs, so it'll be interesting to see how he responds.
Right, and to his defense, he did allow those runs, but then retired Garcia, Almanza. Well, he hit Almanza, but he forced that double play, and that was good for him to do that. Carvajal looks at a strike. Nico at 46 pitches. He's been pretty efficient in those terms. Carvajal with the cut. And he's down quickly 0-2. Not quite there for Young.
We got the top of the lineup coming up next with Mendoza, so you know he'd love to get this first out on Carvajal.
Oh, off the glove. That's going to... Oh, Varela doesn't have a play. The one that sailed by Nico's head earlier, you see it in the pros where I don't know if you train your pitcher not to touch that or if it's so hard, but can you imagine trying to lay off catching that ball and just letting it go through so that Barella could handle it?
And ultimately you have a split second to decide. You don't want it to hit you in the face either, so you're trying to, 1, make the play, but 2, figure out what's best for your team in a split second.
This one gets in the air. That's Malonis back there. He gets it in the glove. And Mendoza retired.
He's got that white glove out there in center field. You can't help but see it. He loves to be flashy and have swag. He had the $1,000 Grinches in basketball, bright green, and he's got the white glove out there in center field. You know he likes his swag as well.
Those Grinches were often the talking point of other teams. They would comment on his shoes, and you're right. He likes that. Oh, this could be. Okay, he opts for the.
It almost acts as a bunt. He wasn't really able to get off. He fell as he hit it, but advances the runner to second nonetheless.
Carvajal gets to second. Mosier he's had some success at the plate. He's yet to be retired. Takes a big cut here.
He's a really good pitcher as well, so it'll be interesting to see if we see him coming up tomorrow.
Either today or tomorrow if they need him. Next pitch, low, and Good look from Mosier to not offer it that. Off speed, strike. And the crowd on their feet, yelling.
Head in the count. He's feeling himself right now, Nico Young.
Oh, ow. So it's the third hit by pitch for Nico today. And I don't know if that's a breaking ball that he doesn't quite get the grip on, or it's hard to know unless you ask him, of course, but they've all been right-handed batters. Here comes Ramirez, who reached and scored last time up.
And I think every time Ramirez has been up, he's swung. I haven't seen him look at a lot of pitches, so you know he's aggressive.
That could work into Nico's favor. Line to 6, Manzanares is there. So, Nico Young, after allowing a single and a hit by pitch later, gets out of the inning with no harm done. And we're heading to the bottom of the 4th with the game tied at 4-4.
You know, Grants, they have a bunch of pitchers that they could show, but they also want their starter to be able to make it as long as possible. So I think that's a positive reinforcement that inning there, to not give up any runs. And yeah, he's hit three batters, and he's faced a little bit of struggles, but ultimately he's made it out. And we got a tie game going into the bottom of the inning. You can't help but be confident nonetheless.
Right, unless he's tired, we're essentially at the beginning of the game again right here. At least in terms of our own batting. But Nico's at a thrifty 55 pitches, so he, again, unless he's tired, I can't imagine he wants to come out. So let's see what the coaches decide to do when they get back up next time.
You know what's also extremely interesting is seeing that we talk about how Deming was such a difficult draw, right? Like, they were a tough team to play as a 16 seed. We look at Pewaukee Valley. St. Pius will face them as a 2 seed. They're the 15. We beat them earlier on in the season 16-0, right? So we expected this first round to hopefully be a little bit of 10-0, 12-0, 12-2, but
yeah,
hey, these guys came to play, and kudos to them. I mean,
no doubt. And you know, they left school today to come up here, drive 200 miles, and those are hard 200 miles from where they're at. Andres Lopez up, looks at a strike. But you're right. They have come to play, and it's been fun to watch. Lopez, breaking ball, looks at it. Mendoza dealing. Lopez down 0-2 in the count. Here comes a pitch. Some heat, and he's going to single off that.
The shortstop almost got that on a diving play, but wouldn't have got it to first.
I don't think so.
Great hit.
Now we're going to see Manzanares, who nearly hit one out last time. Just foul.
There's some gasolina in the background. You know he's thinking pure gas on this hit. Can't help but think this kid has pure confidence with a pink and blue bat.
Well, if you run into him in the hallways or in class, you kind of get that same feeling. Mendoza looks at Lopez, who takes a little bit of a lead. That's outside. So 2-1, pardon me, 1-1 the count to Manzanares here.
You know, it's still interesting. We haven't seen any base runners or pinch runners thus far. So it'll be interesting to see if down the stretch, if they end up subbing some of their runners or even have anyone designated hit later in the innings.
2-1, good count for a hitter here. And Manzanares looks at that one too, and it's a ball. So it's now 3-1. And with Dominic Gonzalez up, probably not exactly what you want to do. That is walk Isaiah. Lopez acted like he was going and held up. Manzanares has a and this one to third, touches the base, but they'll get Lopez, but not Manzanares. So Manzanares reaches on the fielder's choice. Lopez retired, and Gonzalez now coming up.
Welcome to the plate.
See Dominic Gonzalez coming up now, and he's got a bunch of RBIs tonight. He's confident.
Gonzalez.
I don't get it. Oh. Is he on this? He's attached to this? Okay. They just need. And here we go. Dominic Gonzalez into the batter's box. Looks at a low pitch.
He's 2 for 2 on the day with 3 RBIs. You know he's confident coming up to the plate.
Typical day for Gonzalez. Here's a throw to first by Mendoza. First one we've seen, if I'm not mistaken. Mendoza now at 80 pitches for the Wildcats. Another throw to Manzanares. Not sure if Manzanares is necessarily he's a base running threat in that he's fast, of course, but ball to Gonzalez. Sometimes those throws at first are just to ease some tension in your mind, probably. Gonzalez will finally get a look. Ooh, this one's spanked to center field, and here's Dominic rounding second. He's going to get at least to third on this one. Manzanares will score. And the center fielder, got to give it up for Andrew Villegas. Got on the ground, but that ball squirted through. And Dominic Gonzalez, a familiar sight at third base again. And the Pirates lead 5-4.
And you can't fault the center fielder for that. He stretched out, diving play, went for it. And, I mean, you love the aggressiveness as a coach.
Heck
You-
yeah.
Yes, you gave up a triple, but, well, sometimes you live and die by that. And Dominic's good. Another triple for him, man. He loves that third base.
He must. Here's a strike, a low strike to Marquez from Mendoza. Yeah, he must, because we see him there. We've been seeing him there all day. G Baby, G Bills, G Money takes a swing. This is skied real high. Center fielder coming up for it. There's nobody got it. Miscommunication, and look at G Money all the way at second base, and Dominic scores.
And that's the second time this has happened tonight. Is everyone's kind of looking for the ball and can't really see it and not too sure whose ball it is, and runner scores.
And there's that, as you mentioned earlier, that just split second of miscommunication that can cost you big time in this game. 6-4 now the score, and a dangerous hitter and base runner in Bodie Malonis right now. .6-4 the score. Bottom of the fourth, Mendoza delivers. This one goes up in the air, and this could be another tricky one out there. No, instead, okay, Marquez holds up. Villegas brings it in, and thankfully for Mr. Mendoza on the mound, he gets an out of Malonis. But here comes Estevan Barella.
You can't help but tell how frustrated Bodie is. You know he loves to score, and especially with runners in scoring position. But sometimes you get everything you can behind it, and player makes a good play out in center field.
Ooh.
That's right, it's number 6.
That one just dove right in there for a strike, and Mendoza still showing some good stuff here. This one low. Look at this, down the line. Oh, what a play there. Excellent play from Jared Almanza, who got on the left knee, scooped that sucker up, and retired Barella and ended the threat. But the Pirates score another pair. 6-4 going to the top of the fifth here.
You saw Mendoza sprinting for first, but the first baseman said, "No, sir, I got this. I'll beat you there, buddy."
That was pretty. Good stuff from Deming today. And let's see what Coach Furby decides regarding pitching. Haven't seen Nico yet. Waiting for... They've had some action, the Pirates have, in the right field area, just warming some arms up.
Don't forget about the New Mexico Department of
And
Health.
here comes Nico, so
Their evaluation
our question is answered. He's coming out for the fifth.
to all New Mexican
When as Grants, you're confident, right? You just scored 2 in the bottom of the 4th, and you got a lead going into the 5th. You started Nico, and you'd like to see him finish this out for him.
We're going to see for Deming, Jose Duran, Brian Garcia, and Jared Almanza coming up. Last time up, Jose Duran hit a 2 RBI double. And so Nico's going to have to be careful with this kid.
You know, something that's also very interesting, a powerhouse that we saw in district, Valencia Jaguars, they didn't end up making the tournament, and they had some hitters on their team. We did beat them both times. We faced them, but they weren't able to get in. So, I mean, it's always interesting to see who makes it, but Deming's proving that their 16 seed was at least valid in that sense, that they deserve to be in, you know?
Sure thing.
We're even looking next year in basketball to extend the playoff into 24 teams or 32 teams, depending how many are in each district. So it'll be interesting to see what they decide on that as looking as district tournaments and things of that nature.
Well, it just seems, from my limited experience, how often do you see a district tournament change sort of the outcome of what's going to happen? It seems like the top 2 or 3 are always going to, you know, get through.
Absolutely. And you see Grants, they had a bye week at the end of their district, so they've been resting for about a week and a half and haven't seemed to have too much rust on them.
That ball inside to Jose Duran. Nico Young trying to keep settled here. Next pitch, strike. To Duran. A small but lively contingent of Deming Wildcat fans here.
They even brought in an extra bleacher just to accommodate their fans, but
Yes.
that's such a long drive.
Wow, I know. Or maybe they just knew we were going to broadcast it and decided to stay home and watch. Here's a ball batted to left field. It's going to bounce right in front of Nieto, and Duran is on again.
Rounding first, you can't help but him being confident in that hit and excited for what's to come.
For the Wildcats, Brian Garcia.
Brian Garcia, the catcher, has struck out and flown out, so he's yet to reach base today. Ball, a strike to him. Off speed, this gets up in the air. Who's going to get this one? Looks like Barella. Wow. Couldn't get it, but they've got a force out at second, so fortunately, Duran held up, and it's, you know, probably the right thing to do, right, with a ball that you look like it's going to get there. But
Absolutely. What a throw by Bodie Malone. So right from center field, it hit, and he picked it up and got him right at second. Bing, bing play right at second, but he got him.
So we're going to see a pinch runner in number 15, Aiden Jaquez. He's going to pinch run at first base for Duran. And Gerald Almanza hits one out of the stadium. Garcia retired on the typical 8-4. Center fielder to second baseman. This one gets in the air. Who's under it? Isaiah Manzanares. Sure enough, Almanza flies out to Manzanares, and we have 2 outs.
That hat must be hindering his sight because both pop flies he's caught in the infield, he throws that hat off.
Mm-hmm.
Up at the plate for the Wildcats,
As the lights at Grand Stadium start to turn on, here's Nico Young facing Paul Bourget. High. Paul Bourget hit by a pitch when he his first time up, and then was retired on a 1-4-3 double play next time. Swing and strike. Trickles here right in front of us. Tomorrow's game, 10 a.m. right here at Grant Stadium. It's a best of 3, so if the Pirates can win today and then again in the morning, there won't be a need for a third game. Same goes for Deming, you could say. Look at this, deep. Look at that. Manzanata showing the wheels, and Bourget retired. And how about Nico Young? Did not lose any confidence, came out, did what he had to do, allowed the one hit to Duran, but gets out of the inning unscathed, and we're going to the bottom of the 5th here.
When I talk to Coach Furby, I know it's hard to overlook teams, right? You know that you got to take care of business, but I asked him about his lineups, what he's looking at doing pitching-wise, and what he's planning to do today and tomorrow is kind of how he's looking at it next week. So if they were to, by chance, make it to the next round next Thursday in Albuquerque, you'd probably see Nico Young as well. So it'll be interesting to see if they do the same thing and it works for them, and finding some continuity and a little bit of normalcy in their pitching lineups, and I don't know, make a run. That's the ultimate goal, but I know you can't look ahead. I know you can't oversee teams, but looking at St. Pius as that 2 seed on the other side, we beat them twice this year, and they're rivals in our district. We see them twice a year, and you can't help but fans kind of want to see them again at one point, but got a lot of baseball to play to get to that point.
That is true, and we also are on the side of the bracket that features Academy, which has been a perennial contender. Also Valley, the number 3 seed, which, you look at the district they play in, they play a lot of tough teams, and they've been a traditional powerhouse as well. So,
and they also have a pitcher, lefty pitcher that throws 88 miles an hour. So he's one of the best pitchers in the state. So it'll be interesting with Valley as well as Belen being the 4 seed. We saw them in district twice, and they were no cupcake to say the least.
No.
We wanted a walk-off single by Dominic Gonzalez. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how this all unfolds as we continue through these state playoffs.
Nico Young at bat. He pokes that one out of play here. And to your point about Nico earlier, and baseball coaches are so, I don't know, are they more superstitious than basketball coaches? Or I'm just thinking, why would you change it, is what I'm wondering, if he's thinking that. But again, you got to get there first.
I think we're all superstitious to the same point where if it works, we ride with it. If not, well, figure something different.
Did you retire any coats or shirts or shoes this basketball season for that reason?
I did not, but I did know we were young and we're bringing back a lot of talent, so I'm hopeful that this next year will be a little more successful.
Nico Young, dead center, near dead center, back, bounces over the fence. He'll get a stand-up double here. How about Nico Young? I mean, again, we talked about him at the beginning of the game. His resiliency. He gets out of last inning. He comes in, struck out his last time up. He was chasing balls. And here we will get that first pinch runner. It's going to be Cody Malonis. But now comes and smokes a double to center field. I think he retained that confidence.
He did, and that's important going forward because they'd like to believe they're going to make it out of this round, and they're going to need that confidence going forward, especially as the teams that they play, the level of play elevates going forward.
Here's Cam McDougall, the right fielder, who has not done what he probably wanted to do, so far at least.
You talked about the first pinch runner. We got Cody Malonis at second base. That is Bodie's younger brother. Bodie is a sophomore. Cody is a freshman, and those two, as a tandem, they're going to be special as they get a little bit older in every sport they play.
Everything. What are they feeding those kids? Ooh, looks at a strike there. Does McDougall.
Might be the same stuff that they give Lightning McQueen because they're both pretty quick.
Man, aren't they? Cody ended up being just a little bit taller, doesn't he? Didn't he?
He did.
Here's the pitch. Look at this. Center field. Back. He's going to make the catch. Malonis is going to tag and run. So successful, long sacrifice fly.
And Cameron McDougal, he did have a homer early on in the year, so you know he wanted that one to get out. But nonetheless, a sacrifice fly where he advanced the runner to third. I mean, that's positive.
And we may see the end of Mendoza here, who has now is at 94 pitches by my count, maybe off 1 or 2 here. But Mendoza might be done.
And coming in against a 1 seed, a lot of pressure on your arm, and he fared pretty well. I mean, you can't fault the coach or Mendoza for anything that happened. I mean, Grants is the number 1 seed for a reason. They can hit the ball. So
you're right. And he's only trailing by 2 here. So if he can limit the damage, it is 1 out.
They'd love to get out of this inning only down 2.
But you've got Malonis at third. The hitter's going to be Jesse Nieto, who hasn't hit today. But that would still leave room for Andres Lopez and or Isaiah Manzanares after that. I would assume that Mendoza wants to strike out Nieto here. Oh. Pulled away in time to make it just be a ball there.
Nieto was showing a sacrifice bunt there, so it'll be interesting to see what they have up their sleeve on this call.
Here's the pitch. Oh, look at this. RBI for Jesse Nieto. Nicely done. Showed the bunt and then pulled up, not on that particular pitch, but showed it the pitch before, stood up and ripped it into right center field.
And after struggling 0 for 2 on the day, Jesse Nieto with his first RBI and first single of the day, it's got to feel good for him being a senior.
So the score 7-4, and I think we definitely have seen the end of Mendoza here. And just if you'll give us a chance here to figure out the changes, we may just see a straight-up swap for Villegas, who's the center fielder. I think he's going to come in and take over pitching, and let's see if Mendoza will just replace him in center field. Looks like he will go get maybe a different glove.
And with 1 on, 1 out, it's kind of pivotal in this inning. You're down 3 runs, and you don't want to give up any more. So bringing in a different pitcher, and you're seeing the top of the lineup in Grants. We know we have some heavy hitters in Grants, so got to try and get out of this inning quick. Hopefully a double play early on, but ultimately just do whatever is necessary to get out of this inning.
Earlier, told you about the Grants girls tennis team, which beat Los Alamos first round of the state tournament. Trying to stay updated with that. In other Grants sports news, the track team will be heading off to districts tomorrow. Track coach is high on this team and how well they can do at district. So we're following them. Of course, we have this baseball team. It's been overall a good spring for Grants High sports. And you love to see that because in terms of track, there's a standard there for Grants track teams, I think, going back to even your participation in that. So good to see that happen.
Absolutely. You love to see the springtime. Our girls in tennis ended up district champs as well as our boys in baseball. So having 2 teams district champs is pretty exciting. And
right.
Everyone loves this time of year. The weather starts warming up and go out and perform and advance to the next round. That's what it is. Survive and advance.
Mm-hmm. What about your team, Coach? There's plenty else we can talk about, but you had a mixed bag, I could maybe say. What did you ultimately like of what your team did this year, despite some of the ups and downs?
Well, our basketball team, we're extremely young this year. We graduated 1 senior who didn't start, so bringing back our entire starting lineup as well as all of our underclassmen, I think this year was, I know as a coach you don't like to say a rebuilding year because you're constantly improving and growing, but just getting that confidence in your kids and giving them that varsity experience. I think that's important. And we have a major summer coming up. We got 4 major tournaments here now in the hopefully in the month of June. So we're hoping to improve in that aspect and contend next year. I mean, at least compete nonetheless. And we have a lot of these baseball players that play basketball as well. So great kids, very talented, and we're excited to see what's to come.
I haven't seen any 6'4", 6'5" kids walking around the Grants High School halls, but if I see any, I'll let you know.
We were short, but we were quick. I'll tell you that.
Oh, no question.
We could shoot the basketball, so we're hoping that maybe our guys can grow a little, working with them in the weight room, getting them to jump a little higher, and hopefully get a couple dunkers by next year. That's the plan.
Something we heard a lot from opposing coaches, again related to basketball, is they saw some of the weapons you had as well.
Absolutely.
Pitch to Lopez for a strike.
And during that intermission, while they were changing pitchers, they were playing Jesse's girl, and Jesse's on first base. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it.
Could have been. Now he's got a lead here. Villegas. Little off speed on Lopez for another strike. So Villegas comes in to 2 straight strikes. Nieto. Lopez wasn't sure about it and took a cut anyway.
Well, that's all you want is him to come in and get the first batter out, but you can't help but think when they gave up that last run, he could have come in 1 batter sooner and maybe the score would still be 6-4, but can't look back, just got to move forward.
Right. Here's Manzanares again. And he'll face Villegas, the right-hander. Ball outside from Villegas, who is a junior, getting the high leverage time. And Manzanares steps in. And makes a big cut out of play.
Now pitching for the Wildcats, number 4, Andrew Villegas.
1-1 here to Manzanares. And Nieto's gone. Look at this. This gets skied. Deep right field. Deep, deep. And it is a 2-base knock here for Manzanares. Boy, that thing just didn't carry enough. But Manzanares nevertheless got under that big time.
Extremely unfortunate, especially because you had a runner on first, so Jesse Nieto can only advance to third on a ground rule double. So, but they have all the confidence with Dominic Gonzalez coming up to the plate.
But look who's up to the plate again, Dominic Gonzalez.
Could it be another triple? I don't know if he has 3 in 1 game for himself, but he's 3 for 3 on the day. So.
And the unfortunate thing for Deming is you could pitch around. Oh, they're going to walk him intentionally. Probably smart to do, honestly. But you gamble. Marquez is the cleanup hitter for a reason.
He has a smile on his face, and you love to hear the chant, G, baby, B. They're ready for him to get some RBIs on this play.
Be a good time for it. Marcus gets in there. Villegas. Matchup here. Here's the pitch. Outside. Ooh, nearly got away from Garcia. But he saved it nicely.
He had Classic Man on his walk-up, so let's see if he could hit a classic single here and bring some runs in.
We'd like that. That one's low, and so you can't. 2-0. Not much else you could do here, but pitch, give him a strike. As another Deming bus pulls in, do we have another Deming team pulling in?
Bus driver might want to get a bite to eat, coming back to pick up the team.
Here's Marcus. Pirates up 7-4, bottom of the 5th, bases loaded. Ball, 3-0 now to Marcus. He's got to throw a strike here, does Villegas.
And I know Dominic Gonzalez has the green light to swing on a 3-0 pitch, but we'll see if Gabriel Marquez gets that same privilege.
Gee, baby. He looked at it. Got 2 more to work with.
No harm done.
3-1. Villegas. Tough challenge for him. That one gets hit. Oh, under the glove of the third baseman. He's got to get down. He's going to get there. Nieto gets to third. Pardon me, that's Manzanares. Nieto scores. And Marquez was up to the challenge on that one, even though that the third baseman over there, Duran, who's made some good plays, just couldn't corral that one.
You know, he was flustered on that error, too, because he lost the ball, and the shortstop backed him up and got him the ball in time, but he didn't have his foot on the bag to get that force out at third. So sometimes you make a mistake, you just got to shake it off and get back out there.
Here's Malonis, who hit a bomb last time, and this one's going to bounce. Oh, off the glove of the short, and everybody is safe, and another run scores. Manzanares. Wow, so the shortstop, Vinny Chavez, high hop, and just couldn't quite handle it, and we still have bases loaded. 9-4, Pirates lead. It's their biggest inning so far. Here comes Steve Barella. The crowd in a bit of a frenzy. Uh-oh, that's going to score a run. It's going to score a run. Dominic Gonzalez scores again. That ball was pretty low, so I'm not sure if you want to call it a pass ball or a wild pitch, but nevertheless, Garcia could not get control of it, and the Pirates now lead 10-4.
Well, with 4 runs scored in the bottom of the 5th, you can't help but think things are coming unfolded here. They want to just get out of this inning.
Another ball squirts out. Meanwhile, if the Pirates could manage to score 4 runs here, the game would be over. 2 outs, though. It'll be a tough task. Barella at the plate. Malonis at second for Grants. Gabriel Marquez at third. And Villegas, the pitcher, struggling a bit here. That was a strike.
I know you always do hindsight's 20/20, right? But you look at the intentional walk on Dominic Gonzalez and pitching to Gabriel Marquez. 2 runs have scored since then. I mean, you, as a coach, you can't question it. You just got to go with what you believe in. Sometimes it pans out and sometimes it doesn't, and that's the joy of the game. Got to trust your players.
Absolutely. And here, Barella 2-2. Missed it, but it's a 2-3 out for him, and Pirates' threat ended. So the Pirates get 4 in the bottom of the 5th. They lead now 10-4. And Deming, a bit of a hill to climb here. And we will see if Nico Young stays in the game. Nico.
At this point, he's done such a good job. You almost want him to get the finish, and especially because he doesn't have to pitch tomorrow. So we'll see.
He's at 64 pitches by my count. So pitch count probably not an issue. If he's tired, it might be. But he's back out again.
So interesting to see the numbers in baseball. Seeing number 13, number 6, all the numbers we are not allowed to have in basketball. So lucky number 13, Nico Young, is out to pitch for his 6th inning.
As the sun sets here in Grants, and the chill level kind of goes up a little bit.
And this weather doesn't know what it wants to do. One day it's warm, the next day we're blazing winds. So the joy of New Mexico, getting all 4 seasons.
I thought I heard somebody say, I know why they call it May, because you may have rain, you may have snow, you may have blistering heat. But what we know we do have is a Pirate lead, 10-4 over the 16 seed Deming. If you're just joining us, welcome to this broadcast brought to you by Angry Jack Productions in Grants, New Mexico, Grants High School. Pirates Leading 10-4. We're through 5. We're heading to the top of the 6th here.
We had the YMCA going on in intermission, and you could see the fans getting involved. I think they're pretty excited with the 10-4 lead going into the 6th inning, but they know the job's not finished yet.
All right. So, Deming's going to start off with Jaden Carvajal, who singled his last time up. And he will face Nico Young. Strike. Big swinging strike for Carvajal. And at this point, you know, maybe looking at pitches, if your Deming is out of the picture now, you got to swing and hit.
Yeah, you need runs.
Going to be a low pitch from Nico. Nico Young versus Jaden Carvajal. Here comes the next pitch. Strike. 1-2 to Carvajal. Nico Young has pitched 3 scoreless innings. That 3-run third was the one that made us think that he might get pulled, but he has persevered. Ooh, must have been just outside. But it's 2-2. Carvajal trying to get something going for Deming. And there's a little chopper attacked by Manzanares. And look at the stretch by G Money.
I didn't know he was that flexible.
Why? I was thinking the same thing. I may have to see if he can do that. Just when you think you know all about a kid, right?
Impressive. Stretched out for that one.
And equally impressive, that throw from Manzanares. It looked almost like Dominic was going to try for it. Maybe they talked about it real quick. Here's Mendoza, who has yet to reach base. Strike and called emphatically. Mendoza has struck out swinging, retired via a ground ball, and flew out to center field. Here we go. That one's clubbed right to Estevan Barella.
We talk about that stretch out on the last out from Gabriel Marquez. He's got the nickname G-Baby. You can't help but think from the movie Hardball, it's such a heartfelt baseball movie, and I've seen him with the Cucumbas jersey walking around school, and he embraces that nickname for sure.
Pitch inside from Nico Young to number 34, Vinny Chavez.
Well, you can't help but think the number 1 seed, right, they've kind of come into their own, and they have that poise to know that, yeah, they were tied 4-4. Now you look at 10-4 and 6th inning, and they're rolling right now.
That one's high into the field and retired. Cam McDougal. So the Wildcats go in order. And to your point, Coach, I think it's the same thing we saw, we've seen this year with these guys. They sometimes, as with, say, the St. Pius game, number 2, they came in and really just steamrolled the last half of the game. But then you have games like Belen, the 2-1 walk-off. You talked about the Academy walk-off too. So they have won in different ways, and so they just seem to know what to do.
They do, and they're trying to prepare themselves for the next round. They're looking at it's an 8-9 matchup in Academy and Los Alamos, and Los Alamos finished first in their district as well. So it's going to be no easy game going forward if they were to move on. So, I mean, it's exciting to look forward, but the task at hand is going to be difficult no matter who you face.
No question.
And today we actually featured our Staff Appreciation Day, which was pretty exciting for teachers just to feel appreciated for a day. So that was a great day. So for any teachers out there, know that you are appreciated, coming from fellow teachers and Mr. Gonzalez and myself. So we know every day we're doing what we can for these kids, and we get to see them on a daily basis, and we talk about their success that they see in not only sports but in the classroom, and that's ultimately what we want, is them to be successful young adults, and that's our goal, is to help mold them, right? And
true enough.
Grateful for the opportunity, that's for sure.
Number 13.
You're right. And, yeah, I was one of those teachers, as were you and our colleague, Coach Gaines. But any little bit of thank you get is you never ask for it, but to hear it is nice. Villegas, first pitch strike to Nico Young. We're going to see Young, McDougal, and Nieto unless they change anything. Oh, Nico fishing for that one. So bottom of the 6th here. Pirates leading 10-4, in control, comfortable. Villegas with the delivery, and Nico Young slaps one to shortstop. Got it. And so retired there, 6-3. That was the shortstop, Vinny Chavez. To the first baseman, Jared Almanza.
Welcome to the
Here
plate,
comes Cam
number
McDougal.
7, Cameron McDougal.
One of my favorite kids of all time, for sure, this kid. Good baseball player, too. Looks at a low strike.
He walks into class every day with a smile on his face, comes to shake your hand, and you
Right.
can't help but love a kid like that.
He almost kind of bounces in the room, in a way. He's got that undeniable energy. But here he looks at a strike from Villegas. Nice pitch from Villegas. That was some smoke for sure. McDougal, now all thought about it, but thought better of it.
And you talked earlier about his older brother, Caleb McDougal. He's in the lineup. Being that Nico Young was a pitcher tonight, it messed up kind of the infield formation. Caleb plays third base, so we'll probably see him tomorrow as well.
Caleb, or Cam that is, retired, swinging. And here comes Jesse Nieto. The other thing Grants possesses, as we all know, is just some depth. You know, when I'm looking at the who they have on the bench, they've got a backup catcher, they've got an extra third baseman, they've got. This is a deep team, no question. They don't get into the lineup too much, but it's nice to know they're there. Nieto slaps it foul. Pirates are also without one of their stars, arguably, and that's Nick Bustos today, who had to sit out this game. But he'll be back tomorrow. Villegas with the pitch is low. Makes it 1-1 to Nieto. 2 outs. Villegas trying to just get out of this. And Nieto looks at a strike. I'm listening here to the Deming Wildcat play-by-play radio guy. He hasn't lost his energy over there, despite this game not quite going Deming's way. Deuce is wild. That's going to be, the Wildcats thought it was a strike. It's not. It's a full count.
Jesse doesn't seem phased. He's in the batter box with his New Balance shoes on. He's ready for the next pitch.
Villegas winds the pitch and swung at and missed. And it'll be a 3-2. 2-3 out on Nieto, that is. Something coach is wondering about that. They're asking. I don't know what he's... The motion denied anyway. As they're still discussing it over there. Not sure what they're talking about. At any rate. Oh, I guess we had a... They're calling that last one a foul ball. Is that what they're calling?
I think so.
So he'll get another crack at it. That was a good observation there by coach over there to make sure the call is right, and that's what we got to have, no question.
Absolutely, that's what you look for. And we have Eric Galindo down the first base line, and he saw that right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
But
former player himself, standout here for Grants.
So they're going to have to get the count back up there on the scoreboard.
Full count, 2 outs. Jesse Nieto waits the pitch from Villegas. And here it comes. And this one, talk about a change of fortune. That's Mendoza. He can't get there. Nieto's got some wheels. He's going to round second. He's going to go to third. And the ball's still buried back in there, but he's holding it third. So how fortuitous is that?
Well, you look at, as a coach and as a player, you always go with the phrase, ball don't lie. And on that one, well, he hit that one to the fence.
And how about that? Nieto, who hadn't played baseball in whatever many years, comes in, gets on the roster, and on the first round of state, comes up big.
And the Fireball Ralphie is back up to the plate, top of the lineup.
Villegas is going to. His day's over. And we're going to see, looks like the right fielder coming in to pitch.
And we're just sports connoisseurs over here, just getting tennis scores. We got the NBA playoffs going on at the same time. The Boston Celtics are up by 11, 95-86 with 7:34 in the fourth. So no matter what we're doing, we're checking sports, and that's the life that we live.
It is. If you have significant others, sometimes they wonder why. First of all, why do you watch sports so much? And secondly, how do you do it?
Who says sports aren't romantic?
Well, there's romance in every game, if you ask me. Here's the thing, Coach. I'm not a really big movie buff. I like certain movies. I can go to a theater and within 10 minutes I'm asleep.
Oh, yeah.
So my significant other will say, you're asleep 10 minutes into a movie, but you can watch a 4-hour baseball game without ever nodding off. What's the deal? And I don't know what the deal is.
I think that's skill. That's what that is. Sometimes you need a good movie to take a nice nap, and we all need that from time to time.
There you go.
But there'll be no napping tomorrow. We're back here tomorrow, same time. Not same time, same place.
Same place?
And if Grants can pull this one off with the 10-4 lead, they're looking to finish this one in 2 games and look forward to the next round. I hear some electric guitar on that We Will Rock You in the background. I know you're a fan of that.
Definitely. I was rocking out at school a little bit today. It's fun. What's fun is, and it's every one of us, other teachers we know, everyone has a little hidden talent or a little something that they do that is unique to them. And I had a couple people talk to me after and say, I didn't know you could do that. And it's kind of fun to have people see you in different lights.
You used to actually be in a band as well, correct?
I have been in some bands here and there. It's a lot of fun. It's a different kind of stress release for sure.
Yeah.
As we're waiting for Carbajal to warm up, another right-hander.
Everybody clap your hands.
So the team's ERA leader, Deming, as we mentioned earlier, Daniel Mosier, he's at a 2. I had it written down here. Sub-3 ERA anyway.
It's interesting, too, because you're going to see their third pitcher tonight, and knowing that they got a game tomorrow as well. Do you be conservative in this sense? But nope, they're bringing everything they have. They got to do what they can to win tonight.
I feel it's a good message to send to the players. You're going to things can turn on a dime in the baseball field, but I love the approach. If only that you're not giving in. You're showing the team you got to get the win. This is just an important one to get, no question, for either team.
In our basketball season as well this year, we had some of the top powerhouses in our district, and there were games where we were down 20, 30, 40 points, and never did we give up or concede a loss. So I think that's a good message to send to your kids, and no matter how far you're down or what the deficit is, you keep fighting, because you never know.
Mm-hmm.
You can fight your way back.
A quick reset for you. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Pirates are leading 10-4 over Deming. This game was close, really, through the 3rd inning. It was 4-4 at the time. And since then, Pirate pitcher Nico Young has once again put a stop to things. and Deming has not scored over the last 3 innings. So the Pirates leading 10-4. Could end the game here if they can cobble together 4 runs. If not, then they'll need to shut Deming down top of the 7th and call it good at that point.
And I want to say that Dominic Gonzalez would be the reliever in this situation, but Nico Young might be able to finish this one out on his own.
I mean, if you don't need him, I guess why would you put him out there? But here we go. Carbajal pitching to Lopez.
For your Grants Pirates, number 24, Isaiah Manzanares.
Nope. Oh, sorry. He's about to come up, Isaiah is. Got to get through Andres Lopez first here. No problem. Carbajal, good pitch.
My bad, I know that's still you, Ralphie. My bad.
Just admit your mistakes, right? And that makes them right. Here we go.
You got to own
Andres
it. That's all you got to do in this world.
Lopez swings and misses, but the ball squirts out. It's a 2-3 retire for Andres Lopez. So here's the situation now for Deming. Unless they can score enough runs to tie the game at 10, this game will be over at this top half of the inning. And here comes Nico Young to finish things out.
And so much poise. I'd make sure he doesn't hit the runner on the way through, and he did the same thing with Jesse Nieto. They ended up calling it a foul ball, but just to be able to know that you have time and you're confident in your throw and your first baseman. So,
yeah, he kind of got wide there to make sure he was going to see that throw clearly. Good fundamentals.
So with Grants, we talked about they have 5 seniors on this team here. You got Ralphie here at catcher. He's been the catcher for the last few years. You got Nick Bustos, who we talked about. He'll be back tomorrow out in left field. Gabriel Marquez as their first baseman as well. Jesse Nieto on his first year in. He's playing out in left field today. So they got a lot of old experience, but they also got some young guys that are going to come in and be confident. You talked about Nico Young being a sophomore. You got Isaiah Manzanares at shortstop as a junior. You got Dominic Gonzalez, who just has a shot for batting at third base. So, I mean, they're excited going forward with all this young talent they have.
You got to be. And actually, it's a situation that Deming is in too, 4 seniors on their team. And so, no matter what happens here this weekend, they're going to have a lot to look forward to. One thing I found interesting, too, is I believe the top team in that District 3 4A, you mentioned earlier Santa Teresa, they got a 7 seed, which, to be quite honest, I thought, well, as a district champ.
Yeah. And these guys knocked them off, so.
Yeah. And that's going to get through. Or does it? Barella, what a stop. The throw is good. My God. From here, it looked like it was just going to keep rolling, and Barella just says, nope, it's not. And retired is Mosier.
What a play.
No errors for Grants today, and that's another thing that is a bugaboo for any team. But these Pirates have played poised today, all together. Ramirez, the designated hitter. This is Gonzalez. What a throw. Retired.
I think these players are starting to get a little cold out there. The Grants players want this game to end as soon as possible, and I think they're doing a great job now in the bottom of the 7th.
So we'll probably start cold tomorrow, but then eventually get warm. That's what I'm thinking with the 10 a.m. start. Here's Jose Duran. Breaking ball, hit in the air, caught by Bodie Balonis, and this game is done. Grants Pirates move on with the win today to live another day to play, and they're going to play Deming again tomorrow, 10 a.m., and possibly close out the series with a win in the morning. If they do, they're on to the next round against an opponent that we would not know, of course, at this point. But no question Deming came to play, so they should be holding their heads high right now. The number 1 seed Pirates did what they do, and that is they just kept swinging, kept stealing bases, and the pitching of Nico Young cannot be understated. He went the distance. That means Grants gets everyone else but Nico tomorrow.
And as Deming coming in as a 16th seed, you can't help but be confident. You had the number 1 seed in the state up against the ropes, tied 4-4, and anything could have happened. Nico Young struggled early, but ultimately the number 1 team in the state prevailed, and they're excited, but job's not finished. On to the next one. They'll be ready tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.
And I have to assume that will be the message by Coach Furby to the players. We're not done. And that actually has been the mantra all year long. 13 wins in a row now for the Pirates. And what a streak to be on in that whole, Coach, do you know, going into these important games, there's always that debate of, do we need a loss to reset or do we just keep going? But I can't imagine you would wish a loss on this team no matter what.
Well, we talked about it early in district, especially in the later half, and talking about Belen and St. Pius, and Coach Furby talked about, man, I want us to lose just so they could taste it, so we can get it out of the way, because we know at some point it comes. But, I mean, you're never going to root against your guys, so
no.
You'd love them to see it at some point, but ultimately they're on a roll right now, and why not keep on rolling?
They've won 13 in a row since starting 9-5. And they scuffled there early and in the season, but they've since won 13 in a row. 22-5 on the year for the Grants Pirates. And Deming does take the loss tonight, but they get another chance to make things right tomorrow.
Well, they should get a good night's rest tonight. They had a long drive this morning coming in, and jet lag or whatever you may call it, played it toll
Slag
slightly. So they'll be excited to get a good night's rest and be ready to go tomorrow. They'll have a bunch of opportunities tonight to eat some great meals in Grants, because we got tons of restaurants for them to choose from. So we're hoping they get a nutritious meal and are ready to go tomorrow.
Very good, Coach. So unless we have anything else here today, I can tell you that upon conclusion of the series, tomorrow we will be bringing a couple Grants Pirates over to join us on the air before we leave tomorrow. So we'll look forward to that. As people sing happy birthday to Andres Lopez. He thanks them out there. But, Coach, a good game for Grants today. They pull out the win, and just impressive, as usual.
It is. It's been fun. It was exciting to see first game of the state tournament tonight, and ready to get back at it tomorrow.
So for Coach Landon Chavez, my name is Ron Gonzalez. Pleasure to have you all tonight. Deming fans, Grants fans, join us again tomorrow, 10 a.m., for the second game of this 3-game series. Grants could close it out with a win. Deming could extend it to a Game 3 with the win themselves. We'll hope to see you tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Coach Landon Chavez, Ron Gonzalez, signing off. Angry Jack Productions. Thanks to the students and everyone else helping today. Have a great night.
Thank you.